There is a secret that stands between mediocrity and greatness, and it is a secret so simple that most overlook it. It is not hidden in books alone, nor does it require riches or privilege. It is not given only to the chosen few, nor is it withheld from the ordinary man. It is a secret that begins and ends within your own mind. It is the power to believe with every fiber of your being that you are the best, to think, to act, and to carry yourself as though no one is better than you, not from arrogance, but from an unshakable certainty that your life is a masterpiece in progress and that you are the artist with the brush in hand. The world is filled with talent that withers for lack of confidence, filled with dreams that crumble because the dreamer could not see himself as worthy. It is not enough to be good at what you do. It is not enough to possess skill or intelligence or opportunity. If you do not think like the best, you will never summon the courage to step into the greatness that belongs to you. You must be convinced beyond all doubt that you deserve to rise, to achieve, to stand tall among the strongest. Without this belief, all talent lies dormant and all opportunity slips by unnoticed. When you wake in the morning, the first thought that must occupy your mind is this: I am the best. Say it to yourself before the world has a chance to say otherwise. Say it before you check your phone, before you look in the mirror, before you open the door to the day ahead. Plant the seed of superiority in your heart and watch how it grows. You must become your own greatest advocate, your own greatest admirer, your own constant source of fuel. No one will hand you this crown. You must place it on your own head and wear it proudly. Now you may ask, what does it truly mean to think like the best? It does not mean you see others as lesser. It does not mean you scorn or belittle or dismiss those around you. No, to think like the best means to honor the best within yourself, to recognize that within you lies a force as powerful as any that has ever walked the earth. It means you carry yourself with the dignity of one who knows he was born not to cower, not to apologize for his existence, but to shine. It means that when you walk into a room, you do not shrink, you expand. You fill the room with the quiet, calm power of someone who knows who they are. You must condition your mind to hold this thought, not as a fleeting spark, but as a steady flame. You must think of yourself as the best, not once, not occasionally, but persistently, consistently, until the very marrow of your bones believes it without question. Every day you must water this thought with your words, your actions, your intentions. When challenges come, as they surely will, you do not flinch. You say, I was made for this. There is no obstacle greater than my will. When doubt creeps in, as it does for all men, you say, I know who I am. I am the best, and nothing can shake me. Understand this well. The world will try to tell you otherwise. It will present you with critics, with failures, with setbacks, designed to test your resolve. It will whisper in your ear that you are not enough, that you should aim lower, settle for less, blend into the background. But the man who thinks like the best does not listen to these whispers. He smiles, because he knows that the world merely reflects the strength of his own belief. If your belief in yourself is unbreakable, no amount of external noise can sway you. You must also guard your mind against comparison, for comparison is the thief of greatness. Do not waste your days measuring your worth against another man's progress. You are not here to walk his path. You are here to blaze your own. You must think as if you are the only one who can do what you are meant to do, because that is the truth. No other man or woman, no matter how gifted, can replace the fire that burns uniquely within you. Honor that fire. Nurture it. Let it guide your steps with unwavering conviction. Your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. They lay the foundation upon which you build your life. If you think yourself small, your life will shrink to match. If you think yourself powerful, your life will rise to meet that vision. You become what you believe, and belief is a choice. It is not dictated by circumstances. It is not the privilege of the fortunate few. It is a decision you must make every single day to think like the best, to believe you are worthy of the very heights you seek to climb. Now let us speak of persistence. The belief that you are the best must be fortified by action. You cannot merely sit by and wish for greatness. You must act in accordance with your thoughts. Every word you speak, every step you take, every challenge you meet must affirm your belief. You must move through the world with the calm authority of a man who knows that success is inevitable because he has decided it must be so. When others waver, you remain steady. When others doubt, you stand firm. When others quit, you continue on, because you have trained your mind to see no other option but victory. There will be moments when your mind will rebel against you. It will call up memories of past failures, of humiliations, of the times you fell short. It will ask, who are you to believe you are the best? And in those moments, you must answer firmly and without hesitation, I am the one who chooses to believe. I am the one who refuses to surrender to fear. I am the one who writes the story of my own life. And in answering, you silence the doubts and you reclaim your power. Understand, too, that thinking like the best is not an act of arrogance, but of gratitude. When you believe in yourself, you honor the gift you have been given. You honor the sacrifices of those who came before you. You honor the infinite potential that life has placed in your hands. To think small is to insult the miracle of your own existence. To think like the best is to say, I recognize the treasure within me, and I will not let it go to waste. In the days and months to come, I urge you to adopt this mindset with all the seriousness and devotion you can summon. Begin today, this very moment. Declare to yourself, I am the best. Feel the words vibrate within you. Let them fill the empty spaces where doubt once lived. Let them pour like molten steel into the cracks of your fears. Strengthen your mind until it becomes a fortress, impervious to the storms of life. And as you do, you will notice a change not just within you, but around you. Opportunities will appear. Allies will emerge. Doors will open where before there were only walls. For the world responds not to weakness, but to certainty. Believe it now. You are the best. Not someday, not after you achieve some distant goal, but now, in this very moment. With all your flaws and scars and unfinished dreams, you are the best. Carry that belief like a sword and a shield, and there is no battle you cannot win. The mind, like any muscle, grows stronger through deliberate exercise. It is not enough to casually wish for confidence or greatness. You must train your thoughts as a champion trains his body. Day after day, you must lift the weight of positive affirmation, resisting the gravity of self-doubt. To think like the best, you must first teach your mind to think differently than the common man. You must become the master sculptor of your mental landscape, chiseling away at fear, sanding down insecurity, and carving out boldness in its purest form. Begin each morning with a deliberate choice. Do not rise from your bed until you have spent a few moments conditioning your mind. Close your eyes, take a breath, and declare, today I think like the best. Today I walk as if the world is mine to shape. Let these words fill the early silence of your morning, imprinting themselves on the blank canvas of your day. And as you rise, let your actions reflect this inner declaration. Move with intention. Speak with certainty. Think with the clarity of a man who knows his place among the greats. Throughout the day, you must remain vigilant. The mind will slip if left unattended. Old habits of fear and timidity will attempt to creep back in like weeds choking a fertile garden. Do not let them. When you catch yourself hesitating, when you hear the whisper of doubt in your ear, you must correct yourself immediately. Replace the weak thought with a strong one. If you think, I am not ready, you must say instead, I am prepared for this moment. If you think, I am not good enough, you must respond, I am exactly who I need to be. By this constant practice, you build an internal fortress no enemy can penetrate. Understand that your belief will be tested. Life, in its wisdom, will not simply hand you victories without a proving ground. You will face failure, you will encounter rejection, you will stumble, and you will fall. But the man who thinks like the best sees these not as reasons to quit, but as essential rites of passage. Every setback is a test of your conviction. Every failure is an opportunity to reaffirm your belief. When the world says no, you say yes within yourself. When doors close, you knock louder. When the path grows steep, you climb with greater determination. In this way, persistence becomes the fuel of superiority. The ordinary man gives up when faced with difficulty, believing that failure confirms his inadequacy. But the man who thinks like the best knows that failure is merely feedback, a stepping stone toward mastery. He understands that every great triumph is preceded by countless moments of doubt and discouragement. He welcomes the struggle, for he knows it is shaping him into something stronger, sharper, and more formidable than he was before. You must also be careful in the company you keep. The thoughts of those around you seep into your mind more easily than you realize. If you surround yourself with doubters, complainers, and small thinkers, their beliefs will slowly erode your own. Their fear will infect your confidence. Their mediocrity will dull your ambition. Therefore, choose your companions wisely. Seek out those who believe in themselves, who strive for greatness, who uplift rather than pull down. Let their energy strengthen your own. And if such companions are rare, be willing to walk alone until you find them. For solitude with belief is better than company with doubt. Another principle must be carved into your mind. Humility and confidence must walk hand in hand. To think like the best does not mean to boast or brag or proclaim your greatness aloud to win approval. True superiority requires no audience. It is a quiet fire that burns within, needing no external validation to sustain itself. Speak little of your plans. Let your work declare your greatness. Let your results shout what your words need not utter. Walk through the world with the calm assurance of a man who knows he is destined for the heights, and you will command a respect deeper and more enduring than any boast could achieve. Gratitude, too, is a companion of greatness. As you strengthen your belief in yourself, you must not forget to give thanks to life, to those who helped you along the way, and even to the challenges that forged your spirit. Gratitude keeps your heart open and your mind balanced. It prevents pride from turning sour. It reminds you that while you are destined for greatness, you are not alone in your journey. You stand on the shoulders of those who came before, and you are paving the way for those who will come after. Now, let us speak of visualization, for it is a mighty tool in the conditioning of the mind. Every day, take time to close your eyes and see yourself as the best. See yourself walking with power and ease. See yourself speaking with confidence. See yourself succeeding, triumphing, overcoming every obstacle placed in your path. Picture it in vivid detail. Feel it as if it were already real. The mind cannot distinguish between reality and a vividly imagined belief. If you see yourself as the best often enough, with enough emotion, your subconscious mind will accept it as truth, and it will move heaven and earth to make that truth a reality. Your self-image is your destiny. If you see yourself as timid, you will live a timid life. If you see yourself as powerful, you will live a powerful life. Therefore, guard your inner vision as you would a priceless treasure. Do not let the opinions of others cloud it. Do not let temporary failures distort it. Hold fast to the image of yourself as the best, and watch as life bends to match that vision. You must also remember that thinking like the best is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong commitment. It requires daily nourishment, daily reinforcement. Some days the belief will come easily. Other days it will feel like a battle just to summon a spark of confidence. But the man who perseveres through both the easy and the difficult days is the man who ultimately triumphs. Success does not belong to those who never doubt. It belongs to those who refuse to be ruled by doubt. When you think like the best, you lift not only yourself, but all those around you. Your confidence becomes a beacon, a lighthouse for others still lost in the fog of uncertainty. Your strength becomes a bridge others can cross. Your belief becomes contagious, inspiring others to believe in themselves. In this way, your greatness ripples outward, touching lives you may never even know. There will come a day when you look back and realize that the most important choice you ever made was to think like the best. Not the day you won your first great victory, not the day you achieved some external milestone, but the day you decided deep in the quiet of your own heart to believe in your own worth without apology, without hesitation, without condition. That decision, more than any other, will be the foundation upon which you build your dreams. And so, my friend, as you walk forward from this moment, walk with your head high, your spirit unwavering, and your mind fully convinced of your own greatness. Speak little, do much, believe always. Think like the best, and you shall become the best. For it is written in the very laws of the universe that belief precedes reality. Once the belief has taken root in your mind, it must manifest in your body, your voice, and your actions. Thinking like the best is not confined to silent affirmations alone. It must be demonstrated in how you move through the world. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself must all testify to the unshakable truth that you believe you are the best. The world watches your actions far more closely than it listens to your words. And when your actions and your belief are in harmony, your influence becomes unstoppable. Start first with the way you walk. Walk as though you have somewhere important to be. Walk with a sense of purpose, even if you are merely crossing the street or entering a room. Your posture must speak before your mouth ever does. Stand tall, shoulders back, head held high. Let your gait reflect confidence, not arrogance, strength, not aggression. A man who thinks like the best does not shuffle his feet or bow his head. He strides forward with calm, deliberate steps, commanding respect without demanding it. Then attend to your voice. Your voice is the music of your mind made audible. Let it be clear, steady, and deliberate. Speak not with hesitation, but with assurance. Let every word you utter carry the weight of a man who believes in what he says. Do not mumble apologies for your existence. Do not fill your sentences with doubt and uncertainty. Speak thoughtfully, with purpose, as one whose thoughts deserve to be heard. The world gravitates toward those who sound like they know where they are going. Become that man. Train your voice to match the greatness you see within yourself. Your eyes, too, must align with your belief. When you look at others, meet their gaze with calm strength. Do not dart your eyes away in fear or discomfort. Look steadily, warmly, as if greeting an equal, or better yet, greeting another soul on their own journey to greatness. Your eyes must radiate belief not only in yourself, but in the inherent worth of others. For a man who thinks like the best knows that lifting others does not diminish his own light, it magnifies it. Now consider your actions. Every act, no matter how small, should reflect excellence. When you shake a hand, do so firmly and sincerely. When you commit to a task, give it your full energy and attention. When you face a challenge, meet it with the quiet certainty of a man who knows he is more than capable. Excellence is not found only in grand achievements. It is forged in the small moments, in the everyday habits that accumulate into a life of greatness. When faced with decisions, act decisively. Indecision breeds weakness. Doubt paralyzes potential. Even if you are unsure, act with the confidence that you will adapt and adjust as needed. Life favors the bold, not the hesitant. The man who thinks like the best makes his decisions quickly and changes them slowly, for he trusts his instincts, sharpened by belief and experience. Do not wait for external validation to begin acting like the best. Do not wait until you are recognized, praised, or promoted. Begin now, wherever you are, with whatever you have. Greatness is not granted, it is claimed. The man who waits for the world to crown him will wait in vain. The man who crowns himself with belief will find that the world eventually follows. You must also learn the art of silence. Speak when you have something meaningful to say, but do not feel compelled to fill every space with noise. The man who thinks like the best is comfortable in silence, for he knows that true power often resides in restraint. Let others reveal themselves through their words. You reveal yourself through your presence, your composure, your unshakable calm. When adversity strikes, and it surely will, act as though it is merely another test of your resilience. Do not collapse under the weight of challenges. Do not curse the difficulties that arise. Face them with the demeanor of a king whose throne cannot be shaken by storms. Your reaction to adversity will reveal your true level of belief. Every trial is an opportunity to demonstrate, both to yourself and to the world, that your conviction runs deeper than circumstance. Practice generosity without expectation. The man who thinks like the best does not hoard praise, kindness, or opportunity. He lifts others, knowing that his light is not dimmed by lighting another's candle. When you recognize greatness in others, acknowledge it freely. When you see someone struggling, Offer a hand without hesitation. This spirit of abundance reinforces your own belief that there is more than enough success to go around, and it elevates you even further in the eyes of those who witness it. Maintain your dignity in every situation, whether you are speaking to a king or a beggar, whether you are facing praise or criticism. Let your composure remain steady. Dignity is the armor of the truly great. It protects your spirit from the petty slings and arrows of lesser minds. It ensures that you rise above the fray. Focus not on temporary slights, but on the larger purpose you are destined to fulfill. Let your appearance, too, reflect your belief. Care for yourself not out of vanity, but out of respect for the vessel that carries your greatness. Dress with intention. Groom yourself with care. Carry yourself as a man who expects to be seen and respected, because you respect yourself first. External appearance does not define your worth, but it can reflect the internal standard you hold for yourself. And finally, understand that your greatest actions will often go unseen. Do not let this discourage you. The man who thinks like the best does not perform for applause. He does not seek immediate recognition. He plants seeds of greatness daily, knowing that some will bloom unseen, and that is perfectly fine. He trusts that the cumulative weight of his belief, his actions, and his persistence will over time create a life that cannot be denied. Carry yourself from this day forward as the best version of yourself, not because the world says so, but because you have decided it must be so. Walk with purpose. Speak with authority. Act with excellence. Live with dignity. And above all, believe with an intensity that no setback, no criticism, no failure can extinguish. But when your thoughts, your words, and your actions are aligned, when they all sing the same song of certainty and strength, you become a force so powerful that the world cannot help but take notice. There comes a time in every pursuit of greatness when the applause fades and the critics step forward. There comes a moment when your progress invites not just admiration, but scrutiny, jealousy, even opposition. And it is in these very moments, not in the easy victories, but in the resistance, that you discover the strength of your belief. To think like the best is to prepare for these trials, to know that they will come, to meet them not with fear, but with poise, to understand that criticism and failure are not curses, but essential companions on the path to mastery. The man who thinks like the best is not broken by criticism. He listens, but he does not crumble. He weighs the words, but he does not accept them blindly. He understands that criticism, when rightly received, can polish his edges. But he also knows that many who criticize do so from fear, from insecurity, from misunderstanding, and so he filters the noise with wisdom. He does not let every voice enter his heart. Only the voices of those who have walked the path he seeks to walk deserve a seat at the table of his mind. Do not be surprised when others doubt you. Their doubt does not define your potential. It reflects the limitations of their own imagination. If they cannot see your vision, it is because it was not given to them. It was given to you. That vision is your responsibility, not theirs. You do not need their validation to proceed. The best do not ask for permission to become who they were meant to be. They step forward, even when misunderstood, especially when misunderstood. For they know that the tallest trees always face the strongest winds. And when failure visits you, and it will, you must welcome it like a teacher. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. It is the test that asks, do you want this badly enough? It is the forge that burns away weakness. It is the lesson that shows you where to adjust, refine, improve. The man who thinks like the best never sees failure as final. He sees it as feedback. He does not linger in self-pity. He does not allow shame to take root. He stands, learns, and begins again, smarter, tougher, and more focused than before. You must train your mind to reframe failure instantly. When something goes wrong, do not ask, why me? Ask instead, what can I learn from this? That one shift in mindset will transform every obstacle into an opportunity. Every setback will become a stepping stone. Every disappointment will deepen your resolve. The best are not the ones who never fall, They are the ones who rise faster, who recover stronger, who use every fall as fuel for a higher ascent. Criticism, when it is harsh or unfair, must be met with grace. Do not let anger cloud your response. Do not let bitterness steal your focus. You are not here to argue with small minds. You are here to create, to build, to elevate. Let your results silence your critics. Let your actions do the talking. Let the life you live become the undeniable proof of your worth. The man who thinks like the best does not retaliate. He rises. He lets his ascent be the answer to those who wish to see him fail. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, not because of what others say, but because of what you begin to believe. In those quiet battles, you must return to your foundation. Remember who you are. Remember why you began. Speak truth to yourself louder than the lies. Remind yourself of every victory, every moment you overcame, every time you stood strong when it would have been easier to quit. Your past is filled with proof that you are capable. But you must remember it. You must revisit those memories and use them as armor when doubt creeps in. Surround yourself with those who remind you of your power, not your pain. Build a circle that speaks life into your vision, not fear. And when that circle is small, when you feel like no one believes in you, believe in yourself enough for everyone. Carry the weight of your dream alone if you must. For the man who can stand alone with belief will never truly be alone for long. Life rewards the unwavering. Understand also that criticism often comes when you begin to rise. It comes when your light becomes too bright for those content in the shadows. Do not dim yourself to make others comfortable. Do not shrink to fit the expectations of those who fear their own potential. Shine boldly, speak boldly, think boldly. Be bold in your belief. You were not born to blend in. You were born to lead, to inspire, to rise. Failure and criticism will reveal whether you are merely interested in being the best or committed to it. Many admire success from afar but abandon the path at the first sign of resistance. The man who thinks like the best sees the resistance and moves forward anyway. He welcomes it. He uses it. For he knows that the path of least resistance never leads to greatness. And if the road is steep, it is because the summit is worth reaching. Let your heart remain open, even when wounded. Let your spirit remain calm, even when shaken. Let your mind remain strong, even when challenged. The storms will come, but they cannot last. Your belief must outlast the storm. Your conviction must burn hotter than the fire of failure. And when the dust settles, you will stand, not because you were never hurt, but because you refuse to be defeated. Repeat this to yourself whenever the world becomes loud with criticism, whenever your steps falter. I am the best. I am rising. I am learning. I am not finished yet. And let that be your battle cry. Let it echo through your soul. Let it drive you forward through every no, every loss, every stumble. For the best are not made in comfort. They are made in fire. And you, if you keep going, will emerge refined, unstoppable. There is a fire that separates the truly great from those who merely drift through life, and that fire is called purpose. To think like the best is not only to believe in your own strength, but to know exactly why you rise each morning, why you endure, why you push yourself further than others are willing to go. Purpose is the compass that steadies the mind, the torch that lights the dark corners of struggle, the silent voice that says, keep going, when everything in you wants to stop. Without a purpose, even the most talented man will wander. He will waste time, chase shadows, and fall victim to distraction. But with purpose, true, burning, unwavering purpose, even the seemingly ordinary man becomes unstoppable. He becomes a force of nature, a living example of focused energy. His steps are not random. His choices are not guesses. He moves through life with clarity, as if some invisible string is pulling him forward toward a destination only he can see. You must define your purpose. You must go beyond vague desires and speak clearly to yourself. What are you here to do? Who are you here to become? What change do you wish to make, not only in your own life, but in the world around you? These questions are not luxuries, they are requirements. The man who thinks like the best does not leave these matters to chance. He crafts his purpose with thought, with reflection, with intensity, and once it is defined, he carves it into his spirit like an unbreakable vow. When you have purpose, setbacks cannot break you, because you are not here for applause. You are not here for ease. You are here to fulfill something greater than comfort. And so, when the path gets hard, as it will, you remind yourself that your purpose is stronger than your pain. You see the challenge not as a stop sign, but as a confirmation that you are on the right path. For no man of purpose ever reached greatness without walking through resistance. Impression is proof that your vision matters. Purpose silences the noise. When others try to sway you, distract you, or cast doubt upon you, your inner direction keeps you steady. You are not moved by fads. You are not shaken by opinions. You are not tempted by shortcuts, because you know that the long road leads to lasting glory. Your purpose becomes your foundation. It holds you in place when the winds of life try to uproot you. It gives meaning to your every move, and it demands your very best. To find your purpose, look not only outward, but inward. What ignites you? What stirs your heart when no one is watching? What wrong do you wish to right? What truth do you feel you were born to express? Your purpose is already within you. It does not need to be invented, only uncovered. And once uncovered, it will pull greatness out of you like water from a deep well. But you must be honest. You must be willing to see yourself clearly and admit that you were meant for something more. The man who walks with purpose does not chase approval because he is already guided by something more permanent. He does not need constant encouragement because his mission is bigger than momentary motivation. When he speaks, people listen, not because he speaks the loudest, but because his words are backed by a life of focus. When he moves, people watch, not because he demands attention, but because his actions reflect alignment. There is a harmony in his being that others feel, even if they cannot explain it. And what happens when you align your thoughts with your purpose? Your thoughts become sharper. You stop entertaining every idle fear. You stop wasting time on things that do not serve your mission. You begin to think like the best, not just because you want success, but because success is required to fulfill the calling inside of you. You do not hope to win, you expect to win, because your win is not just for you. It is for the people you are meant to lift, the lives you are meant to change, the legacy you are meant to leave. When you live without purpose, you become reactive. You drift. You jump from one thing to the next, always searching, never finding. But with purpose, you become proactive. You choose your path. You own your steps. You move deliberately. And even when you move slowly, you still move forward because your direction is clear. You are not concerned with how fast others are going. You are only concerned with staying true to your course. That is the mark of a man who thinks like the best. You must revisit your purpose often. Remind yourself why you began. In moments of discouragement, when your energy is low and your faith is tested, return to your purpose. Let it speak to you. Let it remind you that your struggle is sacred, that your pain is part of the process. A man without purpose sees difficulty as a problem. A man with purpose sees it as progress. And when you carry this mindset, there is nothing life can throw at you that you cannot handle. The instant he spoke him, do not let fear distract you from your purpose. Fear will always try to make the temporary look permanent. It will tell you that your failure is the end, that your dream is too far, that your vision is too bold. But the man of purpose does not argue with fear. He acts anyway. He moves forward anyway. He knows that fear is just a shadow. It cannot stop a man who keeps walking. And do not let comfort rob you of your mission. Comfort is the quiet killer of dreams. It whispers, you've done enough. It tells you to rest when you still have miles to go. It convinces you to settle for good enough when excellence is still within reach. But the man who thinks like the best is not seduced by comfort. He is fueled by conviction. He knows that his time is short and his purpose is urgent. So he rises even when tired. He works even when no one is watching. He pushes even when it would be easier to quit. Purpose does not require you to be perfect. It requires you to be persistent. It does not demand that you never fall. It demands that you never stop rising. When you think like the best, Your purpose becomes your anchor, your engine, your sword. It fights for you when your strength runs low. It carries you when your legs give out. It whispers to you in the silence, "You were born for more. Don't you dare stop now." And so I ask you now, as you reflect on this part of your journey, what is your purpose? What are you willing to endure for it? What are you willing to sacrifice, to overcome, to become, so that you do not leave this life with your greatness still locked inside of you? Answer those questions not with words, but with your life. Let your days be a testimony to the power of a man with a clear purpose. And let your belief in yourself rise to match that purpose, so that together they make you unstoppable. Greatness is not forged in one glorious moment. It is not a sudden arrival, a flash of lightning, or a lucky break. It is the result of disciplined repetition of small choices stacked upon each other with relentless consistency. To think like the best is to live each day with intention, with structure, with standards that do not bend to convenience or comfort. The best do not rise because they do what is easy. They rise because they do what is necessary, especially when it is inconvenient, especially when no one is watching. The average man lives by moods. He works hard when he feels like it. He trains when he is inspired. He speaks well when he's in the mood to care. But the man who thinks like the best understands that moods are temporary and discipline is eternal. He does not ask whether he feels like doing something. He simply does what must be done because he has committed to a higher standard. His word is law. His routine is sacred. His discipline is what separates him from the herd. Begin by owning your mornings. The best do not stumble into the day. They claim it. Before the world places its demands upon them, they take time to center themselves. They do not wake to chaos. They wake to clarity. Whether through quiet reflection, focused reading, physical movement, or silent affirmation, the man who thinks like the best carves out sacred time each morning to build his mind, strengthen his resolve, and remember who he is. Still, he does not rush out into the noise of the world without first anchoring himself in purpose. Next, attend to how you use your time. The best are masters of minutes. They do not squander hours on trivial distractions. They are not slaves to entertainment or idle scrolling. They are intentional with how they invest their attention. Every hour is accounted for. Every task is prioritized. Every break has a purpose. Time is their most precious currency, and they spend it with the care of a man who knows that once it's gone, it does not return. And so the man who thinks like the best builds his day like an architect builds a cathedral, carefully, methodically, and with the long term in mind. The best take care of their bodies, not for vanity, but for performance. They understand that the body is the vessel of their ambition. It is the machine through which they execute their vision. And so they train it. They feed it with intention. They rest it with purpose. They do not treat health as an afterthought. They treat it as a foundational pillar of power. Because when the body is weak, the mind suffers. But when the body is strong, the mind is sharper, the spirit more resilient, and the capacity to endure is magnified. Discipline also means refusing to negotiate with excuses. The man who thinks like the best does not talk himself out of what he knows must be done. He does not say, "I'll do it tomorrow." He does not say, "I'll start next week." He moves now. He acts now. He understands that every delay is a vote for mediocrity, and every decisive action is a step toward greatness. He silences the voice of resistance with movement. He drowns out procrastination with execution. He does not wait for motivation. He creates momentum. Excellence is not found in grand gestures. It is forged in the unseen hours. It is built in the way you speak to yourself when no one hears. It is found in the way you show up when there's no applause. It lives in the little choices, the extra 10 minutes of practice, the early rise when the bed calls you back, the decision to say no to something tempting but meaningless. The man who thinks like the best understands that these moments define his destiny. And he does not let them pass without seizing them. You must develop rituals of superiority. Do not leave your greatness to chance. Design your day to support the man you are becoming. Schedule time for learning. Block hours for deep work. Reserve space for stillness. Build habits that reflect the strength of your belief. And when the habits feel tedious, remember, repetition creates transformation. The best are not inspired every day, but they are committed, and commitment outlasts inspiration every time. Surround your environment with reminders of who you are becoming. Let your space reflect your vision. Clear out the clutter. Eliminate what distracts. Put words and images in front of you that reinforce your identity as the best. Train your surroundings to support your focus. Because the world is not neutral, it is full of temptations to settle, to slow down, to forget. But the man who thinks like the best builds a fortress around his mind, his time, and his mission. He leaves no door open to mediocrity. The best also take time each day to review and refine. They do not merely move blindly through life. They evaluate. They ask, what did I do well today, and where did I slip, and how can I be better tomorrow? They are not ashamed of their flaws. They confront them. They are not afraid of mistakes. They learn from them. This daily accountability builds momentum. It sharpens their edge. It keeps their trajectory aimed at mastery. Perhaps most important of all, the man who thinks like the best honors his word. To others, yes, but especially to himself. He does not make promises he won't keep. When he says he'll do something, he does it. When he sets a goal, he pursues it with relentless focus. When he commits to a routine, he follows it with integrity. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, your self-belief grows stronger. And every time you break that promise, you teach yourself that your word cannot be trusted. The discipline of daily superiority is not glamorous, it is not flashy, it is not loud, but it is the furnace in which greatness is forged. Day by day, decision by decision, hour by hour, the best become who they are not by accident, but by deliberate, disciplined effort, and so must you. Let your days be sacred. Let your routine be your armor. Let your discipline speak louder than your doubt. For when your daily actions reflect your belief, there is no force that can keep you from becoming what you already are in your heart, the best. There is a conversation that happens inside every man's mind, a dialogue so constant that most do not even hear it anymore. Yet this conversation shapes everything. It determines whether you rise or fall, whether you persist or quit, whether you become extraordinary or remain ordinary. To think like the best is to master this inner conversation, to turn it from a voice of limitation into a voice of power. For it is not the words of others that shape your destiny. It is the words you speak to yourself in the silence of your soul. The man who thinks like the best does not allow his mind to run wild and unchecked. He disciplines his inner voice with the same intensity that he disciplines his actions. He does not tolerate self-pity, nor does he indulge in stories of helplessness. When he speaks to himself, he speaks as a champion would, with encouragement, with command, with clarity. He tells himself again and again that he is capable, that he is worthy, that he is destined for greatness, and he believes it because he has chosen to believe it. You must understand that your mind is always listening. Every thought you allow, every word you whisper within is an instruction to your subconscious. If you tell yourself you are tired, you will feel more tired. If you tell yourself you are overwhelmed, you will feel weaker. But if you tell yourself you are strong, if you remind yourself that you have faced worse and triumphed, then your mind will begin to summon the energy, the resilience, and the focus you need. Your mind does not question you, it obeys you. Therefore, command it wisely. When failure whispers, "You're not good enough," the man who thinks like the best answers back, "This is not the end. I am still rising." When fear says, "You might lose," he responds, "I was born to win, and I win by refusing to quit." When doubt tries to paralyze him, he speaks louder, stronger, clearer. "I am the best. I am prepared. I am relentless." And by repeating this inner language, not once, but hundreds of times, he carves a new reality into the very structure. You must guard your self-talk as fiercely as you would guard your most precious treasure. Speak to yourself with kindness, but also with firmness. Encourage yourself, but demand your best. Do not allow weakness to dominate your inner world. When you slip, and you will, you do not curse yourself. You do not call yourself names. You correct yourself with strength and grace. You say, "This was not my best, but my best is coming. I know who I am, and I am better than this moment." Train yourself to praise effort as much as outcome. When you put in the work, when you push yourself, acknowledge it internally. Say to yourself, that is who I am. I am the man who keeps going. I am the man who demands more of himself. This self-recognition builds an identity rooted not in luck but in character. And it is character that endures long after the applause has faded. Visualize your inner voice as your most loyal coach, your fiercest advocate, your truest ally. When others doubt you, your inner voice must be the one that stands firm. When the world tells you no, your inner voice must whisper, yes, you can. When your body grows weary, your inner voice must rally you, saying, there is more inside you. Keep moving. This constant internal encouragement is not fantasy. It is the foundation of real, lasting success. You must also be patient with your mind. Changing your inner conversation is not an overnight process. You have spent years, perhaps decades, absorbing doubt, fear, and limitation from the world around you. Do not expect to undo it in a day, but do expect to improve daily. Do expect to become more aware, more intentional, more powerful in your self-talk with every passing week. Celebrate progress, not perfection. And when the days are darkest, when everything outside of you seems to collapse, it is your inner voice that will save you, not luck, not circumstances, not the opinions of others. It will be the words you say to yourself when no one else is listening. It will be the belief you have nurtured in the unseen hours. It will be the unbreakable conviction that says, I am not done. I have more to give. I will not be defeated. The best practice affirmations, but not as hollow chants. They infuse their affirmations with emotion, with conviction, with vivid imagery. When they say, I am the best, they do not say it casually. They feel it. They see it. They embody it. Every cell in their body vibrates with the truth of it. And this emotional intensity imprints the belief deeper into their subconscious until doubt has no foothold. You must do the same. Do not merely say the words, live them inside. Speak your greatness, not with desperation, but with certainty. Not as a man hoping to believe, but as a man already convinced. Train your inner voice to match the vision you hold for your life. Align your self-talk with your goals, your values, and your destiny. And when you falter, and you will, return immediately to the voice of strength, correct course without shame, and march forward again. In time, you will notice a shift. Your thoughts will become allies instead of enemies. Your mind will become a fortress instead of a battlefield. You will no longer need to fight so hard to believe. You will simply believe. Because you have built belief into the very wiring of your being, and from that place there is nothing you cannot do. Remember always, the world outside reflects the world inside. If you want to change your life, you must first change your conversation. Think like the best, speak like the best, and soon you will live like the best, not by accident, but by conscious, deliberate creation. There is a challenge few ever prepare for, yet it is as dangerous as failure itself. It is the challenge of success. When a man who thinks like the best begins to see his efforts bear fruit, when recognition, rewards, and applause start to flood his life, he faces a subtle test. Will he stay true to the principles that raised him, or will he become complacent, arrogant, careless? It is one thing to fight your way to the top. It is another thing entirely to remain there without losing your soul. Understand this. Success is a magnifier. It amplifies what already exists within you. If you are grounded, disciplined, and humble, success will highlight these qualities. But if you are reckless, insecure, or vain, success will bring these flaws into the light for all to see. Therefore, as you rise, as you must, prepare now to meet success with the same level of mastery and strength with which you meet hardship. The first key to handling success is humility. True humility is not pretending you are small. It is recognizing that you are part of something much larger than yourself. It is understanding that while you have done great things, you stand on the shoulders of lessons learned, of people who helped you, of unseen forces that opened paths you could not have walked alone. Humility allows you to celebrate your victories without becoming a prisoner to pride. The man who thinks like the best knows that success is a stewardship, not a throne. It is not something you own forever. It is something you must continually earn through service, through discipline, through staying faithful to your highest standards. He does not rest on yesterday's victories. He does not believe that past success entitles him to future greatness. He understands that every day is a new proving ground, and he welcomes that challenge with open arms. Guard yourself against the two great thieves of success, entitlement and complacency. Entitlement whispers, you deserve this without further effort. Complacency says, you have done enough, you can relax. Both are lies. The man who thinks like the best knows that success is not a destination. It is a dynamic, living thing. It must be nurtured, protected, and expanded. He does not see success as the end of the journey, but as a new beginning, a higher level of responsibility, a broader field of service, a deeper well of commitment. When success comes, remain a student. Never believe that you have learned all there is to learn. Stay curious. Stay humble enough to listen, to grow, to sharpen your mind even further. The best never stop seeking knowledge. They never stop refining their craft. They never believe they have arrived, for arrival breeds stagnation. Instead, they live in a state of dynamic growth, always learning, always reaching, always elevating. Celebrate your wins, yes. Acknowledge your progress, absolutely. But do so without losing your hunger. Do so with gratitude, not arrogance. Let your victories fuel you, not fool you. Every success should remind you of what is possible, not make you settle for what already is. The man who thinks like the best celebrates milestones with a smile and then turns immediately back to the work with a heart even more committed to mastery. You must also remember that success increases visibility. As you rise, more eyes are upon you. Your words carry more weight. Your actions impact more people. With this influence comes responsibility. The man who thinks like the best carries himself with integrity, knowing that his example can either lift others or lead them astray. He treats success not as a personal trophy, but as a platform to serve more, to inspire more, to give more. And beware of isolating yourself in success. It is easy when you achieve to withdraw into your own world, to believe you no longer need others. But the truly great understand that connection, community, and contribution are essential to lasting fulfillment. They do not climb the mountain just to stand alone at the summit. They reach back. They mentor. They invest in others. They share their lessons so that others might rise as well. With success brings wealth, remember that money is a tool, not a master. Use it wisely. Invest in your growth. Invest in others. Do not let money change your values. Let your values guide how you use money. The man who thinks like the best is not owned by his possessions. He remains the same at his core, whether he has little or much. His worth is not tied to what he owns, but to who he becomes. Above all, stay rooted in your original purpose. Let success be a reinforcement of why you began, not a replacement for it. When fame, fortune, and comfort tempt you to drift, return to the vision that set your heart on fire. Return to the hunger that pushed you through the hardest days. Return to the gratitude that reminds you that every breath, every opportunity, every success is a gift, not to be squandered. You must treat success like a guest. Welcome it. Honor it, enjoy it, but do not become dependent upon it for your identity. Your worth was never in your trophies, your titles, or your applause. Your worth was always within you, rooted in your character, your perseverance, your belief. Carry that truth with you, whether you're at the beginning of your journey or standing in the golden light of achievement. And remember, the man who thinks like the best is not content to be great once. He is committed to becoming better every day. His competition is not with others. It is with the man he was yesterday. His goal is not just to succeed, but to evolve, to deepen his wisdom, to expand his impact, to leave a legacy not of riches alone, but of strength, of excellence, of unshakable belief. So, when success finds you, and it will, embrace it with gratitude, steward it with wisdom, build upon it with humility, and above all, stay true to the man who dared to believe he was the best, even before the world ever saw it. There is a hidden battle that every man must face on the road to greatness, a war fought in silence, far from the eyes of admirers, beyond the reach of applause. It is the unseen war, the daily battle to keep believing, to keep working, to keep rising when no one is watching and no one is cheering. The man who thinks like the best understands this war intimately, and he embraces it, for he knows that true strength is not forged in public victories, but in private perseverance. It is easy to be strong when others are watching. It is easy to push forward when praise and encouragement flood your path. But what about the days when the world is silent, when progress seems invisible, when your efforts go unnoticed, your sacrifices unappreciated, your dreams doubted even by yourself? These are the days that separate the truly great from the merely good. These are the battles that determine whether your belief is real or conditional. The man who thinks like the best does not depend on external validation. He has built his identity on something deeper, something unshakable. His vision is not fueled by applause, but by purpose. His energy is not sourced from approval, but from an inner fire that cannot be extinguished. He works just as hard in obscurity as he does in the spotlight. He holds himself to the highest standard, even when there is no one there to applaud the effort, because he knows that greatness is not a performance, it is a commitment. You must prepare yourself for these unseen battles. You must anchor your motivation not in recognition, but in your personal standard of excellence. Each morning before the world wakes up, remind yourself why you began. Strengthen your mind with the truth that even if no one sees your effort today, you see it. Even if no one claps for your progress, your soul knows the price you are paying, and it will reward you in time. Persistence in silence is the true test of belief. It is one thing to act when results come quickly. It is another thing entirely to keep building when the rewards are slow, when the milestones are distant, when every step feels small and unseen. But it is precisely in these moments that greatness is forged. Every day you stay faithful to your mission. You build invisible strength. Every day you persist without external reward. You harden your spirit into something the world cannot break. Think of a seed buried beneath the soil. For weeks, even months, there is no visible sign of growth. It appears as if nothing is happening. Yet beneath the surface, a miracle is unfolding. Roots are spreading, strength is forming, foundations are being built. Only much later does the sprout break through the ground, and when it does, it rises quickly because its unseen foundation is strong. Your journey is no different. Do not curse the season of hidden growth. Honor it, for it is the soil from which your destiny will rise. Train yourself to celebrate privately. Reward yourself for discipline, not just for visible success. Take pride in showing up when no one asks you to. Take pride in doing the work when no one demands it. Take pride in keeping your promises to yourself. For these victories, though unseen by others, shape the man you are becoming far more deeply than any public recognition ever could. And when loneliness visits you, as it surely will, do not see it as a curse. See it as a rite of passage. The path to greatness is often a lonely one, not because you are unworthy of company, but because few are willing to walk the narrow, disciplined road you have chosen. Accept that loneliness is part of the journey. Embrace it as proof that you are moving beyond the comfortable, beyond the ordinary. Remember that the greatest battles are often fought in silence. The moments when you choose to stay late and finish the work, when you resist the easy distraction, when you push through fatigue and doubt, these are the victories that will one day shine through every public success. The crowd will see the glory, but you will know the cost, and that knowledge, that inner pride, will be sweeter and more lasting than any applause. You must also fortify yourself against discouragement. There will be seasons where everything feels slow, where progress feels invisible, where dreams seem just out of reach. In those seasons, remind yourself that persistence is never wasted. Effort is never in vain. Every disciplined action, every hour of focused work, every quiet choice to rise instead of rest is adding weight to the scales of your eventual success. Success is cumulative. It gathers quietly before it breaks open loudly. Do not wait for others to believe in you. Believe in yourself so fiercely that even in the darkest night, your conviction lights the way. Others may join you later. They may marvel at what you have built. They may celebrate your achievements. But long before they see it, you must see it. Long before they believe it, you must believe it. Long before they clap for it, you must work for it in the unseen hours. And when the moment comes, when the results finally break through, when the harvest you planted in silence blooms in full view, do not be surprised. Do not be unprepared. You will have earned it. You will have fought for it. You will have proven, not to the world, but to yourself, that you are truly the best, not because others said so, but because you endured when no one else knew you were fighting. In the end, the unseen war is not a punishment. It is a gift. It gives you the chance to become who you truly are. It refines you. It strengthens you. It proves you. Embrace it. Fight it well, for it is through this hidden battle that you will earn a victory no one can ever take away. There comes a point in a man's journey where thinking like the best becomes more than a practice. It becomes his very nature. No longer does he have to remind himself daily. No longer does he have to force the belief. It has sunk so deeply into his spirit that it breathes through him, moves through him, lives in him. It becomes who he is. And at that moment, he is no longer just chasing success. He is success. He no longer waits for opportunity. He creates it. He no longer asks if he can withstand the storm. He knows he is the storm. To live every day like the best is to walk with an invisible crown. Not a crown given by others, but a crown placed on your own head by the sheer power of your own conviction. It means you rise each morning with a sense of sacred responsibility to be your best, to give your best, to expect the best, no matter the circumstances. It means that you no longer allow life to dictate your emotions, your energy, or your excellence. You command them yourself. The man who lives like the best does not need permission to shine. He does not wait for encouragement to take action. He does not seek validation from the crowd. He moves from an inner authority, a silent decree that he was made for greatness, and nothing less will satisfy his soul. And because he moves from this place of internal certainty, life begins to shape itself around him. Doors open, paths appear, allies gather. Success becomes inevitable, not by magic, but by the law of belief embodied through relentless action. Day is treated as a masterpiece in the making. He does not squander his mornings in idleness. He does not drift through his afternoons in distraction. He does not waste his evenings in regret. He moves through his hours with precision, with purpose, with pride. Each day is an opportunity to carve his greatness deeper into the stone of time. Each day is a sacred offering to the future he has claimed. Living every day like the best means that setbacks no longer surprise him. They do not derail him. They are expected, even welcomed, as sharpening stones for his mind, his spirit, his will. He meets difficulty with calm. He meets delay with patience. He meets criticism with a smile. For he knows that all of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, is shaping him into the man he was born to be. The best live with gratitude burning in their hearts. They do not take for granted the breath in their lungs, the strength in their limbs, the fire in their spirit. They see every challenge as a privilege, every obstacle as a test they are honored to face. They are not resentful of the struggle. They are grateful for it because they know that struggle refines them. It reveals them. It prepares them for a life few dare even to dream of. Living every day like the best requires vigilance. Even when success is achieved, even when mountains are climbed, the best do not grow lax. They know that the greatest enemy of future greatness is past achievement. They refuse to coast. They refuse to become relics of their former glory. They reinvent, they recommit, they reignite the fire daily. Their hunger is eternal, not because they are never satisfied, but because they understand that growth is life itself. And the best live not just for themselves. They live to lift others. They live to set a standard that inspires those around them. They become living proof that greatness is not reserved for the lucky or the chosen, but for the committed. Their life becomes a lighthouse, a beacon in a world full of doubt and distraction. And by their example, they give others permission to rise as well. To live every day like the best means to honor your word as sacred, to do what you say you will do, to keep promises, even when it is hard, even when no one would notice if you failed. It means to act with integrity when the temptation to cut corners arises. It means to push through the invisible barriers of fear, fatigue, and frustration with a heart set on victory. It means you understand that every moment matters, every choice counts, every day is a building block of your legacy. You do not wait for perfect conditions. You do not wait for motivation to arrive. You bring excellence to the moment you are in. You make every action a declaration of who you are and who you are becoming. The man who lives every day like the best knows that life is fleeting. He knows that tomorrow is not promised. He lives with urgency but not haste, with intensity but not panic. He embraces the present as the only canvas he is guaranteed. And he paints on it with bold strokes, refusing to leave any space blank, refusing to let fear hold the brush. And when the end comes, and it comes for all men, he will not leave this world with regret. He will leave it empty, having poured out every ounce of his potential, having exhausted every gift, having fulfilled his purpose with a heart ablaze. He will leave a mark not just on history, but on the souls of those who witnessed his courage, his discipline, his belief. And so I say to you, rise. Rise not tomorrow, but today. Think like the best. Speak like the best. Walk, act, and live like the best. Make it your way of being, not just your ambition. Let it seep into your bones, into your blood, into every breath you take. Become the living embodiment of the greatness that already sleeps inside you, waiting to be awakened. Do not ask if you are worthy. You are. Do not wonder if it is possible. It is. Do not delay another moment. Your time is now. Your journey begins and ends with a single, unwavering truth. You are the best. Act like it. Believe it. Live it. And the world will move to match the greatness you dared to claim as your own